In this exercise, we will model this part here. And this is quite an interesting part because it takes advantage of a lot of different sketch techniques and also modeling as well, particularly using construction planes. If you'd like to model this part yourself, I do have a drawing that's fully dimensioned, which is here. So feel free to use this. But aside from that, for the remainder of this lecture, I'm going to model this part myself. So where to begin, I would recommend starting off with the base plate here. That's just a simple extrusion. We can include a number of these features here. And then we can move on to the remaining bodies here. And then finally we can finish off with the flange just here. So let's start a new design. And let's press R on the keyboard. So rectangle tool. And we're going to start on the XZ plane. Let's start from the origin. And we'll give this rectangle. So we're just doing the base plate here. We've got a width as per the drawing, 64 mil. Press tab on the keyboard, total height 15 mil. Then we can use the line tool and add in some of the other features. So I'm just going to draw these in roughly. So we're going to come down something like that, come across. We've then got a circle here. So I'm going to hit C. I'm going to give that a diameter. So it's an arc in this case, 5 mil. So diameter 10. Going to use a horizontal constraint, endpoint, midpoint of the circle, coincident constraint, endpoint to the circle. Continue with the line tool then. Let's snap on to the right quadrant of this circle. Come down, bring that across. And we just want to extend this line here to be in contact with the circle. So just bring that up slightly. Going to modify, extend, just hover over this line. We see the preview. That's good to me. Let's finish that there. Let's press C on the keyboard and put in the through hole. So concentric with this circle. We'll start at the center point. And that's got a diameter of 4 mil. Now we can go ahead and start adding some more dimensions. So from this line here to this one, we have a distance there, 8 mil. And then from the origin to the center point of these circles, we have a dimension 36. From this line here to our origin, the dimension there is 9 mil. And last dimension should be these two, which is 5 mil. That should be fully constrained. Let's just check in our sketches folder. Yeah, we've got the red padlock. That's perfect. Another thing we can do here is to add in the fillets. So we could do those in 3D mode. I'm going to do them in sketching for now. So I put in a circle here. So it's got a fillet of 2. So rad of 4. The same for here, 4. And the same down here, 4. Let's use the tangential constraint now. So circle to vertical, circle to horizontal, circle, horizontal, circle, circle. And circle, let's go for the horizontal, and circle, circle. That should be all the profiles that we need. Let's finish that sketch then. E on the keyboard. Select this profile. Let's get our fillet in there as well. Also this fillet, this circle. We want to have this fillet here and also this one. I think that's all that we need. Let's bring the arrow out, have a look at that. Yeah, that's looking good to me. Okay. So the depth of this part is 50 mil. Let's press enter. That's looking nice. Let's go ahead and add the fillets then on each of the 4 corner edges. Let's press F on the keyboard, select this edge, this one, drag select this one, and we need this one as well. So 4 edges, and these have a rad 4 mil. Let's go back to the home view. And now we can start to add in our through holes. So 1 in each corner. I suggest that we sketch them on this face here. And we can mirror these across to the other side here. And we can extrude cut through all. So let's hit C on the keyboard then. I want to make sure that we select this face here. And we're going to start our first circle from the center point of this arc. So if we just drag down, we'll see that blue circle appear there. So we've got 4 holes at 3 mil each. That's our first one. Let's add in another one then. Again, find the center point of this arc. Okay, 3 mil. And in this case, we're going to project this entity here and this entity here. That's okay. Let's go on the circle tool again. And from the center points, 3. And one more here, 3. But you could mirror those across if you like. So our 4 profiles there. Let's finish the sketch. Let's go on E, extrude, and select our first profile, second, third, and the 4th. Let's pull the arrow down then. So yeah, we've got the operation cut. In terms of the extent type, we want to change that to all. Press OK. Then we have our 4 hole features. That's nice. Okay, so that's all the features for the base plate. Let's go back to our model then. And now we've just got this feature, this one, and the flange. Let's now move on and input this kind of pipe feature here. So to do this, as per the sketch, we're going to start at the top of this feature and then extrude that down to these bodies here. So to do that, we need to construct a plane. We need to offset that from the bottom here actually, and we can use the dimension 40 mil. So in this case, it would be minus 40 mil to get to the top of this circular feature. Let's press C on the keyboard and let's select this plane here. I'm just going to draw these two circles in anywhere. So outer has a rad of 11, so let's go 22 diameter, and C on the keyboard. Let's do the inner. So inner is 9, so diameter 18. And to position these, we need to refer to some of the entities here. So I'm going to project these up to this plane. I'm going to select, let's just go for this entity here and press OK. So we see we've now got that entity there. And let's go on the horizontal constraint, center point of the circles. And let's find the midpoint of this line by holding down Shift. We've got the midpoint there. Let's go back on our top view. It's OK. Then we see, yeah, we're constrained there. We just need to position this on the x-axis. So let's hit dimension, and we'll select this point here to this line, and we'll just do half of the total width. So 64 divided by 2, enter. It's now fully constrained. Let's finish that sketch then. We've got our profile there. So E on the keyboard, select that profile, make sure that we're going down. We don't want a cutting operation like so. Definitely want that to be, let's go for a join operation. And in terms of the extent type, let's go to object, and let's select this one here. However, there's a slight problem in doing this. And if we come over to our bodies and I hide our existing body, we'll see that we're getting a lot of conflict of material, which is not exactly what we want to have. And so under extend, let's go to adjacent faces. Let's see how that changes there. So we see here the material of our extrusion will only go down until it contacts any of these bodies here. So let's press OK. That's looking good. And we've also got these slot features running through this cylindrical feature as well. So let's do a new sketch, and let's go on this face here. Let's project this circle here, and we can reference this point. So I'm going to project this circle here. Okay, we've got that point there. Let's come in the Create Rectangle tool, center rectangle, select that point, and bring out a rectangle there. So the width of this slot is 5 mil, and press tab on the keyboard. And the distance or the height just has to be farther than the extents of the circle. So just put 35. Let's finish that sketch. Let's hit E on the keyboard then, extrude cut. Let's go to this profile and this one. If we bring the arrowhead down, we've got our slot coming to play. So depth of that slot, we've got 8 millimeters. So in this case, yeah, -8, it's okay. And we've got our slot feature looking nice. Now let's work on another feature. So let's focus on this one at the back here. So as per the drawing, we're going to follow the same process. We're going to create a plane, do a sketch on that, extrude down until the extrusion meets these faces here. So let's go and construct, offset a plane. Let's offset it from the base of our base plate, and we'll bring this up. So this starts 29 mil up, so -29. And we're going to press, let's go for R on the keyboard, rectangle. Make sure we select this construction plane. I'm just going to roughly draw in a rectangle or something like that. Press D on the keyboard. Let's give this guy a dimension here. We've got 14 mil. And I'm also going to put in a coincident constraint between the endpoint of this line and this line here. I want to make sure this is in the center as well. So I'm going to move this one up slightly. And then I'm going to use a coincident constraint. Hold down Shift, select the midpoint, and hold down Shift, select the midpoint of this line here. That should be in the right position. Now, we only want one profile, which is up until this arc here. Okay, whereas right now the whole thing is being selected as a profile. So what we're going to do, we're going to project, and we're going to select an entity. So this one, press OK, and then we've just got the one profile here. That's exactly what we want. Let's finish that sketch then, and let's hit E on the keyboard, and we'll select this profile here. We're going to bring this down. So again, not a cutting operation. Let's go for another join. And extent type, let's go to object. I'm going to select this face here. And I want to make sure that we select two adjacent faces. Okay, let me just hide the existing body. Yeah, that's exactly what we're after. Let's press OK. And then we just need to give this edge here fillet. So F on the keyboard, select that edge, and we've got a fillet there of 5 mil. And we've also got this through hole on this face here. So let's go C for circle, select this face here. And that starts at the midpoint of this arc, the center point of this arc. We'll bring that down, find the center point there. Let's bring that out. We've got a diameter of 3. E on the keyboard, select that profile. Bring that in this direction. Extent type, let's go through all. Make sure the operation is cut. Press OK. There we go, we're getting there, looking good. Okay, and the last two features that we need to add are the flange here and also this pipe. So to do this, we need to sketch on a plane here. So we're going to make another construction plane and we'll go from there, create the flange and the pipe also. So a little bit tricky to do this. In terms of construction planes, the one I would suggest to use here would be a plane through 2 edges. So we can just sketch these in. Let's use the line tool then, and let's do a sketch on this plane here. We use the line tool then, let's draw down a line, something like that. And let's dimension this point to this point. And that is 15.04. And this point to this one here, we've got 36.25. We know this line is at a 45-degree angle. So let's hit another line, meet that construction. Draw this with a horizontal constraint. Just D on the keyboard. Dimension these guys. Let's go 45. And we've still got some movement going on here. So let's apply one more dimension between this endpoint here and this endpoint, which we can't select right now. So we're going to need to project. Let's project an entity. This one here, press OK. We see we've now got that point there. Let's dimension between these guys. And the distance there is 14.75. Yeah, that's good. That line's now fully constrained. Let's finish that sketch. Let's create another line on this face here. So let's go L on the keyboard and select this line here. And we could just project this existing line. So let's hit P on the keyboard and select this line, press OK. Now we've got these 2 edges here. We can form that plane. So let's finish the sketch. Come under construction and go plane through 2 edges. We can select these 2 edges here, press OK. And from here we can start sketching. So let's model in our flange first, and then we can do the pipe, which will be extruded down to these bodies there. We no longer need to see these sketches, only the construction plane. So let's go into our sketches folder. We can hide, in this case it's sketch 9 and also sketch 10. We're just left with the construction plane. So let's go on create sketch, and we'll make sure that we select this construction plane here. We're looking at that perpendicularly, that's correct. I'm going to first of all draw in the, let's go for the through hole. So this has a diameter of 16 mil. And we can position that roughly over here. So as per the drawing, there's not a fixed position. And so it's up to us here to make an assumption, in which case I'm going to assume that it snaps on to this arc here. Okay, and that it's vertically constrained with, let's say, this arc here. So to do that, I need to project some geometries. Let's hit P on the keyboard. I'm going to project, oh, not that one. I just want to project the single entity down there. And also let's go for this one, press OK. And then if we move our circle over, so just drag over, use the vertical constraint between the center point of this arc and the center point of this circle. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. And then we can just go ahead and snap on to this line here. So we can use the coincident constraint, center point of the circle onto the arc. Now that's fully constrained in the right position. That's looking good. Let's go ahead and draw in the remainder of our flange then. So to do this, let's go and create. Let's go rectangle, center rectangle, start at the center point of the circle. Drag this out. We've got dimensions 30, tab 30 square. And then we've also got the 4 holes. They're 3 mil diameter each on a PCD of 30, so pitch circle diameter. Press C on the keyboard. I'm going to add this in as a construction line. Don't want it to account as any profile. Let's hit 30 as diameter for our PCD. Let's hit C on the keyboard again then. And we're just going to snap on to this location here, the intersection between the PCD and this construction line. I'm going to turn off construction here. Add in our 3 mil circle. And then very simply, we can go create circular pattern, select that circle. And the center point would be the center point of these circles. Full distribution, 360 degrees, and quantity, we're going to go for 4. Let's press OK. It's looking quite nice. All right, I think we're almost there, ready to extrude. Let's finish that sketch then. E on the keyboard, select our profile. I want to make sure that we're extruding in this direction, not in this direction. Okay, because when we put in our construction plane, it was this face of the flange. And so the distance, or thickness rather, of the flange, we've got 4 mil. Let's also go ahead and add in our fillets then. Let's press F on the keyboard. Select 1 edge, 2, 3, if I can get that one, and 4. And these have a rad of 5 mil. Press enter. Looking nice so far. We just need to add in the last feature, which is the pipe section. So let's create a new sketch, and let's go on this face then. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to hide body 1, just so that we can see the flange more clearly. Let's go back, have a look at that. And let's use C on the keyboard, circle, start the center point here, and we're going to bring this out. So as per the drawing, it's got a diameter of 20 mil. Press enter. Let's finish that sketch there. Let's put body 1 back, and let's hit E on the keyboard, extrude, select this profile here. Make sure we're going in the right direction. Yeah, okay. We don't want a cutting operation. Definitely want a join. And under the extent type, let's go to object. Let's select this object here. And make sure we go 2 adjacent faces. And just have a look at that. Yeah, that's looking really nice. Let's do a join function as well. Okay. There we go. So that is our complete model. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you were able to do that yourself, yeah, big well done. It's good use of multiple sketch tools, techniques, and also the use of construction planes as well. So I need to be quite methodical when we're modeling parts like this. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next exercise.